What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. Thank you for joining. The other day, I was watching, actually yesterday, as of this recording, You Are Here with Sydney Watson. I should say the great Sydney Watson and Elijah Schaefer. Wonderful show. They had a topic that caught my attention. It was a little off the beaten path for a show that's off the beaten path in a very good way, I think. It's a very edgy show that uses humor in a way that unites us, in my opinion. So when I saw this title, I said, what's happening? I must listen. New Victoria's Secret's model has Down syndrome. So I wanted to take that to this channel. I want to be adults about it. My thought was, let's be mature. I want to be the mature one in the room here. I don't want to be inappropriate. I want to tackle this topic with the seriousness that it deserves. As you can see here, I am going to be very, very strict in the comments. I don't want to see anything that's inappropriate. I'm going to make a case for why I have two reasons why I fully support her in her endeavors. Elijah makes jokes and plays too much. I say, man, Elijah, you play too much. I want to say that this is a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. Let's go to Twitter. I think Twitter is the best place for mature responses to a headline like this for Sofia Jirau, the Puerto Rican model who's breaking barriers. Somebody said, I am crying. All right, fellas, hear me out. The classic meme, if you're just listening to this, I don't even know who that is, but it was an interaction where the guy's like, I ain't in it. No comment. That's one of my favorite memes. Somebody's talking about nefarious thoughts. I don't think that's a real tweet. Somebody said, this ain't it. Someone said, don't make me act up in regards to this news. And someone took this in a very crude manner as you're watching on Twitter. Maybe Twitter isn't the best place for legitimate response to this. I think you want to come to me for maturity. So thank you for doing that. Here's what's going on. And for those who are just listening, I am joking. I'm being facetious with trying to portray righteousness here. I'm joking. Somebody once said that death is easy, comedy is hard. My point here is not to be funny. If you're not watching this, as I'm talking about how serious I am about the topic, I was enlarging her assets, let's just say. I do have a point. My point here is equality versus equity. And I'm not accusing anyone. I'm not going to bring up any tweets. I just want to talk about this topic, equality versus equity in a vacuum. If you have a problem with me being facetious here and making light of the situation a little bit, if you have a problem with Elijah Schaefer, who was making jokes that went way further on his channel, much edgier, if you have a problem with that, then you are for equity, because equality would mean you don't treat her differently than anyone else. This is what fair treatment looks like. In all seriousness, I'm happy for her. If that was her goal, and she talked about that being a goal in her life, I am absolutely happy for her. The part that I would look at is to maybe caution her family members, and I would look at Victoria's Secret, and I would want to, are they doing this for true reasons of equality, or are they doing this for equity? And I'm not alleging either way. Here's the difference that I'm saying. Equity props people up based on their identity, and it supports this strong culture of double standards and hypocrisy and using the identity for power to control people and as a shield. It doesn't matter what kind of models. I have a picture up right now, if you're listening, of models of all different skin tones and shapes and sizes. I support all of them. But at the same time, for them to get their opportunity to get in front of people and they're wearing lingerie, they're putting it out there. If someone has a preference where I don't like this type, I like that type, that's not being bigoted. That's their preference. The opportunity was that model got in front of people, and I have different preferences. I have no problem with any of these models here. So my preferences might be different than somebody else, but if somebody has a preference and say, hey, this ain't it, like we saw on Twitter, that's perfectly fair. It's not fat shaming if someone, and this isn't my opinion, but if someone says that plus size model isn't for me, that's not fat shaming. That's the plus size model getting a chance to be in front of someone, which I fully support, and for them to say yay or nay. If you go down the equity route, that's the route of power and control. The equity route is the route that, if it weren't for the Constitution, these people who believe in equity would be fully supportive of enslaving white people. And that would include myself, because I'm socially constructed as white, is how they would view me. They don't have morals down that path. And this word equity is being used in legislation. The funny part about the equity is they would be fully okay with enslaving white neighbors, but never question the power structure that set up this whole term and critical theory. I'm going to end with this. If Victoria's Secret is doing this on the standpoint of equality, I fully support them. If they do this on the standpoint of equity, I do not support it in any way, shape, or form. People have fallen into this concept of equity because equality is nuanced. It's difficult to navigate. What's fair, what's not? The idea of pure revenge and control is much easier to navigate. Let me know what you think. Take care.